Okay, we are almost ready.
Here we are in the studio.
Yeah, yeah. The idea was to do the live streaming from the recording studio because it's another room in the same place. But we had the issues with the computer there because this version we are presenting today is a sort of early version,
It's a very
early
early
release.
version. Working, but still
Yeah.
in its
So,
infancy.
basically, it was working on a Mac, and there were issues. Sometimes audio was going
Yeah,
to
but issues not due to the synth, but to the broadcasting.
broadcasting application, but more than broadcasting, the combination
Yes.
between the broadcasting application and the Mac
Yeah.
and the synthesizer. So we prefer to change computer, and we are from my office directly where I code the plugins.
Where the magic happens.
So. Yeah, no, but Eric, basically, this Mac is working. I'm using even in different recording facility because I have a secondary sort of home studio. And it's working pretty well. But there is this broadcasting application, which is Sienna Sphere Live, which is pretty good. At the same time, we have this synthesizer, which is debugged, but we are in
In
infancy,
early stages.
early stage. So there are other issues. The combination between them is
Yeah, it made it quite
yeah.
unreliable and unstable. So we prefer to move to
We
this
prefer to move.
studio.
Sometimes there were dropouts, small issues, so we prefer to stay in the window computer, to use the window computer
Yeah,
for tonight, this
yeah.
evening.
But
And
Giancarlo is officially an Apple man. He's becoming an Apple man.
yeah,
So
now
he's
now I
more
am.
and more he's relying on M1s and M2s and 3s.
So basically, we are almost ready. Okay, we are in time, and we can start presenting this synthesizer. I think is very very good. So I think we have something
It's a
that
milestone.
is a
You know, the
milestone. Yeah,
Romans
yeah,
used to use
yeah,
stones to
yeah.
sign every mile, and this is a could be a milestone. It has the potential to make a change, to bring analog vibes and analog vibes inside the computer.
Yeah, so it is different from TH8, the previous synthesizer. Is different, but is different even from other products. I mean, product from other companies. Now, we tried this evening to explain the reason why it's so much different because basically it's a synthesizer. Okay, it's a sounds. There are sounds from it, and is nothing from alien space. So is a normal instrument. The technology is pretty new, and we can see is we can say is revolution, but I think there is a misuse of the word revolution because everything is
Yeah, revolutionary.
yeah, and is I think is pretty different from other ones, but we are in the same ballpark. So we are using a pretty similar technology, but in a different way, and so this synthesizer is a bit different. So thank you. We created plugins. Yeah, yeah. We try to improve. To be honest, we started. I think almost 20 years ago, and there were a lot of issues. And I think we are improving, especially in last couple of years,
Yeah,
maybe.
there's been
In last couple of years, there were a big improvement. We are working hard. Even in the past, we were working hard. So nothing new, but we are trying to improve and to try to not negate there are issues. I mean, sometimes there are I think critics, which is pretty good, and in the past we are trying to defend ourselves, and we changed a bit the approach, and we are trying to fix issues instead of find excuses. Okay, there are not excuses because the
well,
technology we are using is pretty complex. But I think in the past we were trying more to defend ourselves than sometimes to fix really the problem. And it's almost a
well,
couple
the
of years.
company was also smaller.
It was smaller, there were less
Now it's
resources. Yeah. So nowadays, when there are critics, we try to improve and to not try to explain reason why there are issues. We try to fix the issues as soon as possible,
yeah.
and and
focusing on solutions and not the
yeah,
problems,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
very good.
Yeah, Cola is a pretty good plugin. I love it. We sampled it in Germany. I think it was in Berlin, and we had a flight to this Voxton studio from Francesco Donatello. And now that recording facility doesn't exist anymore, and also the console was sold. Okay, I love to think that it's sold because there is a plugin doing the same, but it's not true. Basically, Francesco Donadello is doing other stuff because he's more and more involved in orchestral recording stuff. And basically, the previous way for recording or for creating stuff was good for the previous way of working, but he moved. So basic. But it's interesting that this console, which was sampled at the moment, is not working anymore. Is I don't know where.
Well, thanks to Acoustica, it's available.
It's inside your computer, but it's not working.
Widely available.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is telling me to not escape from the camera, but we can maybe adjust a bit, because sometimes I move because I was explaining we were going to do this live stream from the other room, which
Super
is
Studio, which is exactly the one you see in picture here.
But there were issues, so at the end they said no, we can do it in our office, in my office, and is even better because we have a couple of master keyboards. So Carl has a keyboard. I have a keyboard. I have a different mouse on the same computer, and
but he has a very better one. He has a huge one. I have a very small one. So if I'm not playing now, sorry, I'm joking.
So before starting,
but we have headphones and everything. We're going to be listening to everything.
Before starting, so I am Giancarlo De Sordo. I'm the CEO of Acoustic Audio and also the main coder for this synthesizer. I know it's pretty strange you have a CEO coding when the company is growing, but basically for me it's a passion, and I'm trying to continue doing it, even if the boys in the other room are trying to replace me. So basically, I'm trying to resist and to keep coding, but I'm older and older. So I think this synthesizer will be one of the maybe.
Never say never. You
okay, never say never. Okay,
you don't know what's
okay.
going to happen.
Maybe I will stop after it. No. But the idea is to leave other people doing my coding job because they are a lot better than me. I should be honest. And the guy beside me is Carl Fatt, which is not an employee, an acoustic employee, which is pretty strange, but we have a network of consultants, not only employees. And I pretty hired him for this synthesizer because he has a lot of knowledge, and also he has a lot of skills, and he has a lot of synthesizer and a friend with the synthesizers, and he knows what to do basically. So it was a great help. Not only when I create products in last years, I'm consulting and asking Carl for a sort of check and also an opinion. So I trust, because he's a friend and he's an old friend. I trust his opinion.
We go way back. We know each other because Giancarlo was a producer too.
Yeah, he was a producer.
He used to do records.
Exactly. So we were working for the same guys in Motivo, something
Motivo
like
Productions.
20 years ago. We had the same people. We were working together, doing dance stuff and mixing and ghost producing, a lot of ghost producing.
Yeah.
For example, Tiesto, for example, a lot of big names we were ghost producer in the past. And is also the current job for Carl, basically.
Yeah, I'm still into it.
And I moved to the plugin world. So, and Carlo, which is Carl Fatt, is helping a lot. Also, is the man which is creating sampling for this synthesizer. In this case, which is a not common sampling, so I was forced to hire a special guy and with a lot of passion, but also with the same exact vision, because this synthesizer is the combination of my vision and Carl's vision for creating something new. And then there are a lot of boys, a lot of coders in the other room which are helping. For example, there is Alessandro, which is building the real synthesizer, maybe using XML language and building blocks. Marco, for example, is creating the appearance, is creating the
beautiful graphics.
The graphics. There is Riccardo. Riccardo, in last period, is coding also. He created a lot of stuff for this synthesizer, and also is helping debugging and is also assembling stuff. So there is a work of a lot of people. Just to name it, there is Fabio in the other room, which is helping for organizing sampling session. For example, we have a sort of Mellotron sampling session, because we want to create our Mellotron sound, not sampling original.
A recreation.
A recreation. This is the idea. So we discovered that there is a trademark and there is a copyright issue. So basically, we are recreating also sounds for this synthesizer, because we need also Mellotron stuff. Now we explain the reason why. And yes, let's show. So let's start showing it. Okay. So basically, this is the synthesizer. Tell me if you can see it, because we are sharing. We are using this Sienna Sphere Live application, which is another application we created. I hope the audio quality is good now, and there was a lot of development also for this platform, this broadcasting platform, because we discovered that there are not many platforms for transmitting, for broadcasting high quality audio. And maybe there is Twitch, other stuff, but okay, this is the point. So this is the synthesizer. Okay, before you go on, I tell you immediately, is not a clone of anything. So if you tell me is a Korg because it resembles a Korg, it's not a Korg. If you say this in a audio, is not, because it's completely different. And there are a lot of stuff based on this appearance, because you say it's a sort of Roland looking appearance with a different color schema. The idea was to create something modern, keeping the same feeling. Now we explain reason why also there is something from different synthesizers, but I can tell you that there is not a clone, and basically is something completely new, starting from this synthesizer. Then we'll have also other emulation. I think there will be during the years several ones we are working on them, but really we love what we are doing here, because when you create an analog emulation, is good because someone maybe is interested in that particular synthesizer, but we think that we have to create something new now, and maybe there is a space for something maybe not explored, and with a different sound, a different fingerprint, a different soul. I mean, so we are trying to.
Okay, it has some of the DNA from the TH8.
Yeah, there is the DNA from TH8, and we can explain the reason why. So, what was the idea? Let's go straight on what is. The idea was, when we were creating TH8, the idea was, what if we can change the, for example, oscillator. We take an oscillator, which is a square, a sawtooth, or something like that, and we sample from other devices. So this is the point. So we started working on this particular engine, which is not a wavetable and which is not a sampler, but basically is doing a sort of mix between them for creating an oscillator. Now you will tell me, okay, other companies are trying to experiment this because we see.
But there is a big but.
There is a big but. You have to do it properly. Otherwise, when you sample an oscillator, you have a problem. For a wavetable, basically, is very static, but also sampling technique. You can have, you need the round robin and other stuff. and it doesn't work, it doesn't behave like a real oscillator. So the problem was we had the TH8 and we knew how to create this oscillator and how should it sound. Then we tried to sample other ones and we tried to fix what we were doing. So this is the point. We start with this is simple sound that you can start here from, for example, okay, is an early stage, so basically, okay, there are names and names, okay, are still not printed on the, but if we try to play it, maybe use the headphones. I try to play a long note. You will see that is not different from TH8, but is sampled. In this case, is sampled from several devices.
Yeah.
In this case, is a sawtooth combined with the other ones. This is a simple sound, and this is something you cannot do using sampling, and you cannot do it using a wavetable, because wavetable is short. A sampling can do what we'll do later. I can explain. If you take a sample, for example, contact or whatever, and you create a couple of copies, okay, and you pan the stereo, basically you have a sort of nasty overlap, and you have a sort of combo phasing, and it means you cannot do it properly. If you do here, take your headphone, and we use the stereo like in TH8. So basically we have this super stereo and we spread it. You see that it behaves like an oscillator because you can use different instances and there is no combo at all. So what do we have here? We have a sampled stuff, very long stuff, but at the same time is like a normal oscillator, and is working like a real clone of an oscillator. This is something new. Is not sampled, is not a wavetable. Is something in the middle, and you can do whatever you want using this. So this is a very good building block. Is too quiet? Okay, we can. Okay.
If you hold it down, you can hear it's alive.
You can hear is alive. Tell me if you can hear, if you want more loudness. Okay, can you hear me? Or okay. Tell me if you can hear or if you want to hear more stronger. More okay. Max quality. Yeah. We can have. Basically, you can do, but the problem is not the quality in this case because it's pretty good. It's broadcasting. So keep in mind we can use a mega, but it doesn't make sense because we have a broadcasting. So basically, but what you need is that you can do this.
To add even more liveliness and get it even to breathe.
Yes, now to the max to give an idea. Oh, okay, go max. So we can have stage. So you can do the same action you can do in TH8, but basically with a sample stuff, which makes everything completely different. Because the problem is doing this in TH8 is simple. We are recreating an oscillator. This is simple. We did it. The problem is when you have to do this with the sampled stuff. This is the different part. And you can do, for example, with the tune, but also with the sub oscillator, which is the same basically of TH8. This stuff is the most basic sound you can create. So this is
we're not taking advantage of LFOs.
We are just using a sampled stuff, a very basic sampled stuff, and we have we sampled a lot, and basically this device
And
could
long notes
could
too.
also import data. But the problem now for the first release, we want to have a lot of stuff, and a lot of them were sampled. But if we take, for example, a pad, something very long, you see there is a sort of evolution on this. Or maybe in another one, just to make an example. During the sampling, there is a sort of evolution. So when you create a super stereo version,
Hold it.
can you hear it? It moves like the original one. And also, if you repeat notes, they are all different. And now we explain the reason. And this is the most basic sound you can have from this device, and the sounds are amazing. I want to make an example, and okay, let's try from one of them was tuned so we can change sounds. We can try different patches. I want to explore sounds before presenting how the sounds are built. For example, something. I think there is even an higher quality compared with the previous synthesizer, but you can create more complex landscapes, and you can have all the sounds you want. Basically, this is a simple example. I want to explore now maybe presets, because they are.
Yeah.
We started creating presets, okay, and all the presets you create using this stuff sounds like a record. This is I want to give an example, because I think, okay, start from, for example, from pads. So let's try very simple. Yeah. For example, this one. Okay, let's try, for example, maybe. Okay, for example, this one. Okay, this one. This is a pad.
You want to try something?
For example, this one. Okay.
This one.
Okay, for example, just it asks. So this one is a sort of a Mellotron sound. We are resampling Mellotron, so.
And also you can have a very.
Yeah.
As you can hear, the palette.
There are pads, so it is a completely different quality. When you try it, it's like a keyboard you can buy in a showroom. It's,
like a hardware keyboard.
It gives the same feeling you maybe had in the past years when you entered in the local shop trying synthesizer, because all the sounds are incredible. If you, for example, take another one. This one is
like a Juno wise, like very simple, very easy, but still almost exactly the same, with the same chorus, modulating the sound and stuff.
Yeah, because we are speaking while we are. Okay. In the credits, okay. In the credits. Oh, but let's see. We want to. Yeah, there is, for example, this one also. But I love it. The atmospheric trigger is. I love this. Look. Okay, there are pads, but it can do, for example, electric piano and Rhodes, basically. So
even with an FM hint.
lascialo.
Adesso non mi ricordo gli altri.
This one was more Wurlitzer. Ah, called me. Oh, go. It's, yeah.
Very nice.
Okay, for example, this is one I love. This.
Take a bar. More like an organ.
Ah, this one.
Like an organ.
This one, yeah.
Because we actually sampled some organs, but real ones.
Yeah, there are real ones, very expensive one. For example, they are transformed in oscillators. So this is, for example. But also, for example, this piano, which is a strong piano, is basically like is like the one you can hear in
everybody imagine is with.
Yeah. House. Yes, Aussie piano. Yeah, because we sampled the stuff. Oh, this one, I love this. But also, for example, Solid Keys, because it's very solid. The sound is very solid. If you hear it sort of cut in the mix, it's a very. But there are just examples. This one, for example. Okay, go on, for example, is not because mysterious piano. Okay, this is a broken melody. I love this because I love the atmosphere. This one, okay.
Choirs too, you can do. Kind of PPG-esque sounds if you want.
Like a PPG sound. Mister is a very typical FM stuff.
But with a twist.
But all high quality. I mean, this one is like the one you can hear in FM synthesizer, but the quality, the stereo depth.
Yes, but there is a particularity about the sound. The fact that you have some underlying strings from the Mellotron, like if you listen. So you can actually combine different worlds of a sound generation into one single embodiment, and also if you want, add some real oscillators that Alice is able to produce.
Yes, for example, we have an organ. Also this one. Play. Yeah. Okay. There is Mia, for example. Okay. Yeah, FM, a typical FM, for example. Yeah, it's a fun. Creating preset for this piece is crazy. Is amazing. Hybrid, but also, yeah. Yeah.
Broken PPG.
If you take a preset, each preset is like a record. I mean, you can create a song from. It's very inspiring. I mean, you can create a complete song from each one. This is crazy. I think this is sort of the atmosphere, the sound, the some quality, maybe, I don't know.
It's mainly due to the speed that you can go from thinking about a sound to actually achieving the sound. It's you will see when you will see how the GUI works. That is, it's not complicated. It doesn't have all those infinite possibilities, but it has all the possibilities you need to achieve to go from all those various starting points to the final result that you have in your mind.
This one tipo 80s. But also, for example, very modern stuff like a progressive sequencer, the one, because your mouse is okay, is not. Play. For example, this one. You can create a song from each preset. Is a I love it. This Troy stuff came from a Buchla. I don't know if you know the song. This is incredible because you have also iconic. We are starting creating iconic presets because we have them. For example, maybe this one. I don't remember. There are a lot of stuff. I never remember which it was. There was a song. Maybe we use it. I don't know if you remember the. Sometimes okay.
I can't recall.
Okay, I can't remember the riff anymore. But no.
And this is a pretty finished sound, ready to use because you have a sub bass that is being tailored.
Yes,
you don't need to add anything.
You don't need anything, and basically the original sound, because it was sampled from an oscillator of one of them, which is an iconic organ, but it was merged with a sub, and in few minutes you can create a complete sound. I mean, is like you can have in the record without using equalizer.
You don't have to use layering because you can do it inside the synth itself, and you can come up with a finished sound that you can use on its own if you want.
Yeah, you don't need anything else. For example, Spectrum, which is there are LEDs, for example. Yeah, for example, Dangerous, like this one. Oh, this one also. Oh, this one. Sounds finished. This is, but also, for example, super saws that are pretty good. Really. Oh, this one. Yeah, they're classic. You can create a pretty classic sound, and you have complex new stuff. Classic. You can do whatever you want. For example, this one. I mean, sounds good. Oh, this one, for example. Oh, this one, another one. Another one, for example, for also for chords. Exactly. Oh, this one. Well, this is very... Yeah, you have a lot of different. Okay, okay. But also, okay, I can play this one, for example. You can. The good is that is very solid. When you have a sequence like this, is very, very solid.
It has an in-the-face quality.
Yeah, in the face quality, you can disable arpeggio. You can play this. This is very, very, very high quality.
I mean, in-the-face quality together with the warmth, which is very difficult to achieve. The combination of these two characteristics.
For example, this about this. Okay. Because you can have a mallet, so you can integrate sound. Oh, this one, this is the. This one, I love this one because it is a pretty sample, but for example. Yeah, you can. For example, I love this.
Even if you go very low or very high.
Because aliasing is very good. So aliasing is very good. So basically, sounds are very at the same time.
They can express themselves to the best, even in the low or in the highs, and you don't have that unless you want it.
Oh, maybe this one. Well, okay. Yeah.
And here we come to one of the major.
Obviously, for doing bass, this one is. You are in all the region you want from something more like serum to a normal analog one. You can send
even modular.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, for stuff like that. Yes, which is pretty modern because there is a lot of broad step. Yeah, like this one. Also have an harsh sound because you can have which is a more serum-like approach. You can have a very strong attack. It's very impulsive. So
kind of hairy top with an acid.
This
flavor.
one, I don't know. You have all the bass. This is like sort of king for bass frequencies. You can, but you have a normal basses. You have you can have. We are playing basically random notes now. Oh, this one, for example. I can. This one is good, for example. Or this one, for example. Yeah. That is because a sub. This one is a sub. Exactly. This one is because we are keeping the same level for we fixed the level of the synthesizer. Okay. 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 Also this. You can hear, for example, the attack.
If you want to hear the basses, there are some audios here that.
Now we can try it just to make a preview, but this one for trance music, this one also under bass, which are pretty. Okay. See, yes, this one is very good. Maybe.
Okay. You disconnected
disconnected the
my
keyboard.
my
Okay.
keyboard.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, it's okay. You play it. So.
Okay. This one. Okay. Okay. For example, but there are you can create a lot. All bass frequencies you want. I don't know how many. We just started basically doing presets, but several ones. This one, I love this one. You can hear the quality because it's like serum. You can have the same sort of attack, but it sounds like an analog one because it moves. It's a sort more depth. There is a very high quality in this.
You can tailor the attack because there are several envelopes available that you can choose from, several curves, for the attack, for the decay, and for the release. And with each of them, you can build a specific type of bass, a very, a very squeaky one, a very fast one, a very soft one. It depends on your taste, and you can choose what kind of envelope characteristic do you want to impart on the sound. You will see after in the GUI.
For example, this is Cobalt Dreams because it's a cobble, basically. It's a cobble.
An actual cobble. One of the 200-300 that they built in France.
Yeah, and
in the 70s.
And we can improve, for example, the attack even more than the original. So you have more impulse sort of sound, but you can regulate it. Now, obviously, in the synthesizers, like okay, you can do. I think we can try maybe different recording just to.
If you want to hear some of the sounds, okay, hold on.
We were saying that this one is
really awesome because I'm not used to the sound, to the presets yet, because I didn't have the chance to play it because I've been sampling so much, and Giancarlo is been coding, of course. We didn't have the real chance to build and tailor the presets the way that we wanted up to now. But what you heard is the beginning of the work of the creation of the presets. I'm still feeling amazed when I hear the honestly.
You can hear the quality. I mean, this is a synthesizer without compression, without anything. It's like a sort of sounds
no equalizer,
like, no equalization. Everything.
All the effects are the ones that you find within the synth itself.
Yeah. this even this sound, it seems like very simple to do, but for creating you need a lot of modulars, a lot of stuff. And also, is it something you cannot create simply in Serum? I mean,
No.
you can do this maybe using the new version. Maybe there are even presets, but here is very simple to recreate, and the sound quality is very high. I mean, I think this synthesizer can work beautifully with the other synthesizer. You can use Arturia ones, Serum. You can use pigments. You can use face plant. Okay, but here it's very simple to create something inspiring. I mean,
it's the preset creation,
and also the sound.
It's a fast process.
Is difficult to create this sound without compression, without equalizer, and is alive, and this doesn't sound like a toy. It's difficult to create this one, which seems I want to play it again. It seems like a simple sound to create, but it's very difficult because you are in the region where you are creating this one. There is the risk to create something like is too cheap, to analyze it, to toy, to I mean,
yes, often to achieve this kind of greatness and thickness, you have to rely on aliasing, bit crushing, overdrive, and stuff like that. But in this case, there has been none of these processes being involved. It's simply, of course, they're very good samples. I mean, they come from special machines from the past, Buchlas and stuff, and Cobos and whatever. And the way that they combine, and especially the aliveness that it's imparted by the audio engine itself. It's the aliveness that makes the difference.
Let's hear it again. It's difficult to create this sort of alive sound. I mean, it's very difficult. Okay, let's go on.
It's especially difficult even to keep the fatness, the thickness when you move in the higher octaves. Usually the sound thins out very much. And in this case, you will notice that it keeps a body of its own. It doesn't become too thin. It's still usable, even if you go high up in the octaves.
This one is difficult to create using wavetables.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
It's very difficult. You are in the same ballpark. Maybe ever you can be more digital, I think.
Yeah.
But to create something which sounds like analog at the same time as is digital, is new, is something you can use in a modern production, but sounds fat, sounds live. This is very difficult. This is a very difficult sound to create. Okay, you have now an idea. We can answer a basic question and we can show quickly how to create a present, how fast, how quick and beautiful it is, and how much synthesis there is in this synthesizer. Because you can think, okay, is it something like a sort of a sampled stuff? No. We are creating most of these presets, for the exception of obviously of Ross piano, for the exception of them, starting from
partials.
There are squares. This is so much powerful, this synthesizer, that you can start from a normal square, normal.
For instance, just to as an appetizer, there is cross modulation available.
There is a cross modulation.
Which
there is a
sort
sync.
of unheard of in the sample territory. Sync too, which is okay.
Do you have a question? Do you have a question before starting? Maybe because someone was creating, was doing, okay, underized one was Fausto. I don't know if what he wanted to.
That's a friend of mine.
This is I'm trying to understand. Okay, if there are questions, okay. You can add your own waves, yes, in the future, not immediately, because we want to keep the quality height for this kind of tech. before letting you import your ones, but basically we are importing normal key maps. It is so much powerful. You don't need even round robin. We support round robin. You don't need a round robin at all. But we started adding layers.
Because once
round
again,
robin.
there is a particular some features that you will see after that enable you not to have that machine gun.
We can explain quickly. Okay. So basically, you in the future we will be able to import your waves. Yes. Then will be the creation today synthesize like a prophet Ober. Okay, this is the question. We are trying to recreate also a synthesizer from the past, creating a proper synthesizer for each one. I mean, for example, TH8 is a particular synthesizer from the past. We'll have other ones, and this Alice is not in conflict, is not in competition with them, because sometimes you want exactly that particular synthesizer with all the presets, all the same settings, and no compromises, and you want them. And maybe you discover that our emulation we developed in the past, which is TH8, is is dangerously close.
Yeah, it's
to
a
the
faithful
original
recreation, very much faithful.
Is very close. Now, but the point is, if you want something which is pretty close, okay, we can create this. And maybe or sometimes you need also all the modulation, or also all the maps between knobs. And this case, you can create modern sound. You can create even better sound. I mean, maybe Alice for a long time will be, even in our catalog, the best synthesizer, even if we will have emulation, other stuff, because it can cover everything, which is a problem sometimes when you are using a Prophet emulation, we are using a Jupiter emulation, we are using a June emulation. Okay, you can have these monsters from the past, and maybe you want them recreated properly. But the point is, this one is a sort of more comprehensive, and is a modern sound, and is more inspiring. I mean, and is easier to create a sound in this
and without the limitation that each of these typical huge synthesizer from the past carry with themselves. Here we try to go outside, thinking out of the box.
Yeah. Then there is also, yes, CPU heavy. Yes, this one is almost a CPU heavy like the previous synthesizer. Okay, there is also an echo mod. Basically, for bus stuff is less CPU heavy, but we know that there are competitors nowadays that they have a very high CPU load. Okay, so maybe we are in the same board. I think for creating simple stuff like a bus, things like that, is even lighter than the previous synthesizer. But when you play all the notes with all this stuff, all this quality, you are in the same ballpark, more or less. Some preset can be more CPU intensive. Some of them,
depending, of course, on the number of voices that you use and you make available.
Depends. Other questions before we go on? Okay. Broadcast. If you have a question, we can answer. I need. Thank you for all the messages. Okay, thank you. Compare. Okay, exponential curves. Yeah. I can explain. Okay, MPE. Okay, we are working to add MPE to this synthesizer. Is it possible that it will be integrated before the release date? We are waiting for a Rolly keyboard. They have to ship to us, and we are waiting for testing stuff before going on. And we in the office we discovered there is not a Rolly keyboard, and we wanted one of them before coding and checking the MPE, because I think Rolly is a very good keyboard for testing MPE. So yeah. So basically, I hope it is shipped in time so we can complete the development. Rompler, it's not a rompler.
No.
Yeah, it's okay. Basically, now we explore what we are doing. But if you sample something, you cannot have this. I mean, only samples can do this, and wavetables can do this. But yes, you can start from for example, Oscillator sampled from other stuff, or you can have some sample a violin or things like that. So you can do this.
You can have it acting as a rompler, but it's not a rompler.
For the first release, importing your own samples will not be allowed, because I think especially in the early stage, it creates a lot of confusion, because people wants to use it like a normal contact player or things like that. And I think this is okay. You are using like 10% of what is possible.
Yeah,
If
you're
you
going to
use
take advantage of all the features that are actually available.
You wanted to load your samples. Okay, it makes sense if you use it properly. Otherwise, it's a waste of time, a waste of space, and also sound depends on the quality you are recreating. What is important that if we created the TH8 using only four shapes, four oscillator shapes, because you have a square, a sawtooth, you have a sine. Okay, you have the square, you have a PVM, but basically you have four shapes. So you have four shapes, and using four shapes for a particular brand, you have this synthesizer. You can guess what you can do. You can do this in this case. Okay, for example, let's try. I want to show how much easy and good and fast you can do a sound. I want, for example, let's start from. We prepared. Okay, this simple stuff. Okay. Okay, let me explain. Is playing in this case only this shape, which is okay. Now names are not properly displayed. They will be displayed properly for the final release. You can see the proper names here. And in this case, I think it was something like a sign. Okay, basically is something from a subsequent. Okay, yeah, I can tell you. Don't tell anybody. Yes.
Between us.
Yeah, basically this is a sort of square coming from it. So we are sampling the oscillator from this particular device, and it's working pretty well. Okay, it's doing this stuff basically. Now the magic, you have another one loaded here, and you can move. So basically, you can combine them. It's very simple. You have different stuff, different things, and you can see cutoffs, filters are disabled. Everything is disabled, basically. Okay. The magic is that you can have, for example, another oscillator, because you are three.
The third oscillator.
This one we can use, and we can, in this case, add cross modulation. Now, the point is you can move from one of them in real time, and you can modulate it.
Basically, you're using the envelope one to control
this
in real
one,
time.
This one.
Or if you want, you can use an LFO, stepped one. Maybe you should show the...
Yeah, this one.
Using it in a one-shot way, so it's like a sort of an envelope.
You can see you are moving around them. They are okay. So you can combine them, and you can have a cross modulation between them. At the same time, you have a mix between them. You have a modulation version. You have a mixed version. You can do whatever you want.
Plus, you have also some native waveforms,
squares. You have a full TH8 oscillator at your disposal if you want.
Then, of course, you can cross modulate with the samples.
Yes, you can cross modulate a real oscillator coming from TH8 from with the other one, or sample one. You can have this sample one doing this. You can do whatever you want.
And of course, you have a sub oscillator. Yeah.
Just to make an example, how much simple it is. And this is only the oscillator section. Then you have all the synthesis, because you have now they are growing, so they are growing the number of possible
how
shapes.
The shape change.
Yes, basically, when you move, and also you can watch.
You can see with this little red dot what stage and what point are you at the development of the time of the envelope, and you can change the characteristics of the envelope. Choose another one.
For example, this one, which is
and if you change some of the parameters, you will see how the curves change. The attack, especially the attack, you see it changes its characteristics. For instance, this has this kind of while the other one, for instance, a linear.
For linear, there are a lot of stuff which is already work. Yeah. And there are sampled from several devices, so this menu will be populated with the different ones. Then also filters, they are keeping growing, but more important, we have a very vast number of LFOs, and you can have what is important. You can have shaping from them. It's very simple. Okay, there are synthesizers like, for example, wavetable ones where you can draw it. You can sort of create, use the mouse.
But you lose yourself in the middle of all the options.
Because this is so much simple, and everything is easy to modulate, to change everything. You have everything at your disposal. You have a couple of LFOs, and you can do whatever you want starting from this engine. So basically, I think it's very simple to use. At the same time, you can do.
But if you want to dig deep and go inside, I mean, open up the hood and work on the engine, you can do very particular things. For instance, you can act, if you want to explain this beautiful feature.
For example, you can change in different ways the range, the transpose. Sometimes you want a pitch, sometimes you want a proper transpose, high quality one. Also this time we are sort of having a proper transpose functionality.
Because the particularity of this process is that you can choose between pitching in the traditional sample way, which means making faster, like chipmunk voice, making it faster, or making it grainy, going very much lower if you want to, or you can simply move the way the synthesizers reads the samples, actually transposing in them. So you have this double choice. So you can have a VCO one, for instance, that is very clean and pristine, reading different samples in the key map, while, for instance, VCO2 is actually degrading the samples when you move it, let's say 24, my mouse is 24 semitones lower, and you can choose what kind of, if you want to degrade it, or if you want to have it pristine. Plus, you have the possibility to move the starting point that you read the sample, and you can do it dynamically.
For example, if we start from a basic sound, so I want to start from the scratch, okay, which is pretty simple, like this one, okay. If we have a sort of piano, not from here, from this, okay. If I use a different waveform, like like an iconic piano, like this, for example. Basically is you are playing a note, but you can move like this one.
You can gradually introduce the attack or get it off. Se vai tipo ancora sembra che c'è, vai tutto via. Ok, perfetto. Suonalo così. Esatto.
So basically, and you can also increase the gain. Obviously, now is very, of course, okay. But now the point is that sometimes you want sort of creating a sort of a random way of starting, so you can assign an LFO. You don't need a round robin anymore. Even without this trick, you don't need a round robin because
it's going to be reading the sample from a slightly different starting position every time. Every time you hit the key, and you have that aliveness and organic feeling that you have with a hardware synthesizer.
But this is what I think. This is a normal sampled house piano. You can do what is very simple. You can have this. And in a few steps, this is very, very simple. it's very simple to create something convincing.
You can add 2 different pianos if you want. I mean, you can whatever you want.
Yeah, chords, there are piano, and other stuff coming, a lot of stuff coming. Then maybe in the future, you load your ones,
your own samples.
Yeah. So okay, and well, tell me if you have questions, or if we are. I think it was even pretty fast as live stream. It was
incredibly, yes,
because only 1 hour.
Because it's easy in the end.
Yeah, it's very simple. What a synthesizer sampled? A lot of them. Almost. We can have brand names because we sampled almost all of them.
Yeah.
From Matrix to well, I don't know. I don't know how many ones are inside this stuff.
Many.
And it's important because
historical ones, very modern ones, and cheap ones, expensive ones, a bit of all.
So you have a sort of oscillator from all of them, and then you can use the synthesis on it. So basically, it's not just you are sampling a sound. You are sampling the oscillator, which is, for example, the square from it, the sawtooth from it. So you have this sort of feeling from that synthesizer. You can
sometimes there is only the main waveforms, like a square, a sine, and sometimes there is a complete sound that inherits the characteristics of the synthesizer with its own envelope, with a filter added, and you can choose what to pick for your creation. You can add a real saw, simple saw with no further synthesis from the original synthesizer, plus, for instance, an actual pad sampled and looped, of course, perfect, with all the synthesis, the filter, the envelopes, the chorus, in case that the synthesizer has a special iconic chorus. It's being sampled and it's part of the sample.
Let's explain why it's not a JD, because someone is saying this is a JD. Oh, basically, in all the Roland synthesizer, the parcels were very small, but they are parcel. I mean, sort of cyclic ones.
Yeah.
When you have a pad, we explored them, but the point is, when you have this one, you see there is a sort of evolution. You can have this on a JD. If you try it, you can do this using all the synthesizers. No, you can do this.
No, you can't.
But because there is also synthesis, there is a real cross modulation. There are real
there is a sync possibility.
Yeah. Basically, this one is okay.
This is very nice.
This one. Okay, because I said that I don't want. Because
this is the king of instability. This preset.
Yeah.
Now, did you actually load it?
There was this one. This one is very unstable.
And it's a real random instability. It doesn't represent itself.
It doesn't represent. JD can do this. No, JD absolutely. There are short parts. We have tried to sample several ones. Several super saw can have an origin from.
Definitely.
But no, you can just. Because it's like what we did in TH8, and we have the wall synthesis, which you can have in all the synthesizer, and you can have this sort of movement.
It's the audio engine itself that plays the sample in a way that it makes it alive.
It's the oscillator which is moving, but it's difficult to do this. You see, it's moving, it's changing direction, is very complex to create this, and also this sort of pad.
It's obvious that JD can't do this sayonara, for instance.
JD can do sayonara, can do this, but the point is okay.
You can't do it. This is more like a PPG, like a Prophet VS.
This one is like a Prophet VS. You can do this using JD. There are sounds you can do, but for example, this one you can do at all. Because there is a synthesis on it. So basically it can be so much faster, it can move this way. That doesn't work this way. But also is complex like modulation, but it is simple to do this complexity. So there is a bit of choir, a bit
really
of pads. It's very nice. So it's very nice. It's very simple, but it's very effective for the production. Now we don't want to convince that you need this synthesizer, but we are pretty excited that we did it. And really, my question is how it was possible before it, because it's so much simple. I want to use this now, and we created for ourselves basically. In this particular case, we created this synthesizer
to fulfill a personal need.
For our personal need. So for one time, we are creating something for ourselves, and
that possibly could be appreciated and
Yeah.
understood even by other people.
Yeah. If we are not creating this product because we needed to sell something, because we are also creating emulation. It's easy to sell emulation compared to this. But there was a point I decided to create this stuff for myself, and I said, okay, we can test if other people want this sort of stuff, if they are successful enough, or if they want something like T8, they want like a proper copy, a complete matched copy, because they want exactly that particular device, which is pretty good. But I think also we need something different in 2025. I mean, this is not just using the same machine, the same
and even
matrix.
idea and the necessity to put your own samples inside, which I understand, of course. It's the first thing that I would have asked too. But once you start playing around and trying to come up with your own ideas, you will see that it's not so important, at least in the beginning stages with the synthesizer, to have your own sounds, because playing around with all these samples and combining them and make them because they interact with each other through the sync, through the VCO, through the cross modulation and stuff. You can come up with so many things that you won't believe it. You have to play it and see.
Yeah, you have to play, but I think also it's good to see, to understand also very simple things, like, for example, the position of the envelopes. Okay, there are synthesizers where you can see it, but is okay. This case is everything in front of you. I mean, you have in a simple interface. Is very.
There is no menu diving. I mean.
Yeah, you don't have a covered the part of the screen. I mean, some hidden things.
Yeah.
You can watch everything. You understand immediately what's happening.
Yeah. At a glance, whatever you see at a glance.
Let's not forget that the reverb now is a full rise.
Yeah,
so there is a
nice.
full rise. Yeah. So we move the rise.
Yeah.
Now you recognize it for people. Now you understand why we were creating a rise, because there was a need to improve our actual reverbs. Then there will be something also in the saturator.
A real big something.
Yeah, there could be
perhaps
a very big news in this.
Because Acoustica audio is famous for its saturation.
Yeah,
and the way it treats.
I think there will be a surprise. I hope before the release. I hope with this synthesizer. Okay, and basically, this is very, very, very simple.
For instance, another production-wise thing, you can have the equalizer that works, of course, on the stereo output, on the mono, or on the side. For instance, if you want to make a very stereo bass, but you don't want it to have it, being all over in the lower part.
In this case, you have an elliptical filter, because you are reducing, in this case, the side below a frequency, so you have a mono compatibility in the low region. So this one,
if you play a bass, you can have it very stereo and moving in the upper part of the frequencies, while the lows are going to be mono and in the middle.
In this part, you have a mono, and in the upper region, you have a more stereo. In this case, simple stuff. I mean, we are trying to not reinvent the wheel, to find a sort of accommodation for simple stuff. So everything is streamlined. The workflow is pretty good. You don't have to think too much. You want to disable effect, like you have this now. You
on
can.
The click.
Yeah, you can keep effect.
You want to preview all the presets without having the hassle of switching off that.
You have this basically. effects are removed, and I think is very cool. It's very simple.
Sincere too.
Sometimes you have to dive in a complex menu. You have many pages, you don't know how to disable things. This is the point. When you are creating a production, you want to, for example, disable all reverbs, and you want something simple to do it. Okay, several competitors are doing it properly, but yeah, I know sometimes this is a problem. It is a problem because you don't know how to disable the reverb. You don't know how to disable
because let's be honest, half of the time when you find a preset that you like on a synthesizer nowadays, you're spending your time finding a way to switch off that particular modulation that is annoying you, or that particular reverb or whatever, or that delay moving and stuff. And so you have to dive inside the matrix modulation and stuff. Here it's pretty, it's simple.
It's simple. What you see is pretty. What you get is simple to understand, simple, and the sound are very. I mean, it's very complex sound. You can have a complex texture. I think we are on the limit what we can do, because there is a limit where after this limit you have many LFOs, you have many stuff, and you cannot hear them at all because you have too many complex.
You start losing track of all the possibilities of you, and you're being kind of overwhelmed. In this case, once again, as I said before, at a glance you can see everything. For instance, just check this particular shape that you have on envelope 2, the VCA one. I mean, that's not a shape easily achievable with 4 sliders. I mean, it's and you can switch it right away to a more percussive one simply by going to the Pro one, for instance, or the digital. Just taking it down in the attack.
Yeah.
Boom. Here you go.
Yeah, simple, very simple. Okay, tell me if there are questions. Otherwise, I think we covered.
This is it.
Okay. Question I read now. No, is not an Udo Super 8. Absolutely not. Super 8 is not absolutely a Gemini. Absolutely. But you can compare sounds, even checking headphones. Maybe we release in the future also an extraction of this video, and you can hear and you can try it. Is pretty distant from very much. I mean, not because it's not an emulation of Udio, but because in my opinion,
they're different.
Maybe also the sound quality. I won't tell you that is better because
it's different.
It's different. I prefer this one because we are the coder, but okay, this is so more versatile. Okay, another question is about the preset management. We know our preset management is not very good, we know, and we are improving. We keep improving. So even the version we are using now is a little better than before. Okay, now you have a program change, we have a lot of stuff, and we'll migrate back to TH8. We want to improve this preset management because we know the preset management need some more love. so yes. When it will be available? Okay, before a couple of months, basically. We can tell you which exact release date. It will not be this week, obviously. We have to finish preset, we have to iron bugs, there is a lot of stuff moving on, so this is a sort of an early preview. Other ARP Odyssey, ARP 2000.
Okay, ARPs. Okay, I shouldn't say it, but up to now there are no ARPs, but there's gonna be some.
Yeah, there could be soon. Also, there will be Mellotron-like sounds, and when we say Mellotron, it means we are creating complex Mellotron stuff using real instruments, because we see that this particular synthesizer could be pretty good if we improve the number of very particular.
Which means actually recording strings in a studio. Making actual recordings and then adding that texture typical of the Mellotron.
We started already, or you can have a small preview. We'll have other sessions.
It's a huge endeavor, but it's gonna pay off. It's gonna be very nice.
For me, it's very important to have also Mellotron-like sounds inside the like oscillators. Then other questions. I try to to check if I forgot several ones. Udo Gemini Poly inspiration from Udio? No. People are telling me that is like Udio. Is also like Korg. If you want to say, there are several synthesizers which have this appearance. Basically, there is something coming from TH8 and moved from this appearance, which is black one, to this white one, is more like, I think, Korg, King Korg, more like the appearance.
But not sound
But
wise.
also because there is Alice, and Alice comes from Alice in Borderland. But also this L9 and line, so L9 is also from Kubrick, and if you check it carefully, also the lights came from the Kubrick movie, and you remember L9. If you look it closely, is they are a bit like this artificial intelligence on the starship.
And the displays are beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah.
Display that you can choose the envelopes, the oscillators from, kind of liquid displays from the 80s, 90s.
Other questions, and try to understand if the other question of we can you take on wavetables. Okay, there will be a take on wavetables, obviously. We don't know when, because when we create something, we want to bring something new, basically. The idea to create a sort of pigments or serum competitor today is a good idea, but we want to bring something new on the table, like we are doing in this case. In this case, it's not sampled, it's not wavetable, it's something new. Even in wavetable territory, I think we can create something completely new, and we are working on it, if you asking me. Like in this case, we have an incredible engine in this case, because very, very light aliasing, I think, is one of the best engine around for.
You can go 24 semitones up and down.
Yeah,
And
yes,
almost
is like internally is working at something like 300 megahertz to give you an idea about the quality of the waveforms. And obviously we'll have a take on wavetables. I think we want to create something pretty new. To create just a clone of serum or pigments or phase plant doesn't make sense to me.
Plus, there's going to be a clone coming this fall, a special one.
Yeah,
a very good one.
Yeah. Betas is in beta testing. Yes, is in beta testing. Also, they are creating presets. Yes. No, it's not a take on wavetable synthesizer. So no. So to Juno Lark, no, this is absolutely not a take, because wavetable are different. We want to create our wavetable engine different from the other ones. In this case, there is an engine which is between a wavetable and a sampled-based engine, but is even a bit different. It's not a wavetable, not a sampled one. Is you can really sample oscillator and they behave like a real oscillator. This is the special power of this synthesizer.
Exactly, you said.
But for wavetable, we want to create a wavetable in the future. I don't know when it will be released. In any case, different as in poly, yes. In solo and poly, yes. Basically, we didn't improve this session too much. It came from TH8. We are moving from a synthesizer to the other one, trying to keep the best items from the previous one. Obviously, several synthesizers will release will be completely different, maybe because the arpeggiator is completely different, or distortion. Okay, there will be interesting new synthesizer coming from us, but I'm honest on this point. Maybe the other ones will be emulations. This one is not, in my opinion. This one is special. It's special because when you create a sort of profit clone, okay, it's a profit clone. You can improve, you can add super stereo, you can add stuff like a sub. Okay, you can create something, but at the end you have it and if you want to modify it, is not a profit anymore. So basically, when you create a sort of clone, you have sort of constraints. The same I told you profit, but it can be Yamaha stuff. You can be whatever you want to recreate, like a matrix stuff, or GS80, or I don't know, all the stuff from the past. When you create them, basically there are too many constraints. You want to recreate the exact sound, you are trying to recreate it. So even if you add several features, more or less you are you cannot change too much. Otherwise, people start telling you that okay, is close, but not so much close. Or try presets that are not very close. It's difficult. And if it sounds too much good, it's different. If it sounds the same as before, it's something you can use because they are ancient devices, and sound today is different.
Yeah, they
So
change just because of the degradation of the components of
yeah,
the
I can
resistors.
create a matrix simulation. We can have a very close matrix simulation. If it is very close, is a problem because it's something from the past, and it doesn't sound as much good as new
Yeah.
synthesizer. But if you modify it and you add features, it's not a matrix anymore. So you are creating something new. But this is a problem because when you create this sort of stuff, you cannot invent something really new because people are waiting, are looking for a clone. So when we create a clone, we have a problem. We cannot modify it too much. We can be too very very sort of a personal approach to this. You are more
There is a freedom involved in the
in
creation
this
of this
synthesizer. We can create
synthesizer.
the synthesizer we want.
And there is the need and the will to make something that is it's good for the for productions, the one that you hear on the charts right now.
Then other question, visual feedback of the audio waveform. Okay, we are creating a sort of graphic engine. I mean, if you are watching what we are doing also in effect, and we are improving, especially in the representation of waveforms of, okay. The real problem in this case is how to represent them in surface, in a screen surface, without having hidden part of the screens, even hidden menus or hidden shapes. And as you can see, the problem is not to have a waveform displayed, but there is no space
Yeah.
anymore for
I mean,
displaying it.
everything,
Yeah.
every centimeter has been
So in
used.
this case, we decided to have LFOs because they are useful in this case, and even ENV, so it is. But for the waveforms, in this case, not, because also this is not a wavetable. For a wavetable, where you have a single wave, maybe it makes a sense to display it and to have this visual information. In this case, it doesn't make sense because you have a complex sound. If you have a piano, okay, you can display the waveform like a contact sample,
some
but it
samples
doesn't make
are so
sense.
long that you,
Yeah.
even if you're going to show them, you're going to have to zoom in them. So
No.
it's going to be
No.
not so
The problem is
useful.
not to create a waveform on the display. The problem is how to represent the information in a way that is useful. In this case, there is no space left for doing it. In the future, maybe we'll create a synthesizer when you have hidden menus, you have hidden frames, maybe. In this case, we prefer to keep everything in front of you. This is a sort of
What you see is what you get without any hidden.
is a sort of a decision. I mean, we decided that everything should be in front of you without hidden parts.
But this choice impacts the experience that you have when you use it. It impacts it in the sense that you feel at ease.
But also, when you see the screenshot from another one, you understand immediately what it's doing.
Cluttered, avoid the cluttering. It's the main.
But also, for example, if there is a screenshot coming from someone, you understand exactly what is loading, and I think it's very useful. Okay, in the future, maybe it will not be possible anymore, especially for particular kind of synthesizer. And we have to change maybe our mind and to have hidden parts. For example, you have And LFOs, when you display LFO number 1, you cannot see LFO number 2. You can, when you draw an LFO, you modify points in LFO, because you maybe in the future it will be possible to modify shapes. Okay, but you can do the other ones. So you need a tab. You need something for hide the things. I don't know when we'll do it. At the moment, we try to not do it because I love this. Reason button, you have a special region which is more than
you can overdo the actual resonance of the filter that is being modeled.
Yeah, I
can go over
don't
it.
know if this case you can hear. There was also that one which this one spectrum. This one, okay. This one we were checking this. Okay, okay. So basically, the original filter in this case cannot auto-oscillate. In this case, you can reach this region. The same for this famous one. Okay. Ok, maybe ok, normal quality, maybe mega, ok.
Vuoi dargli l'inviluppo così lo sentono ad ogni colpo? Adesso abbassa di molto il cutoff. Perfetto.
You see, you can
push it in territories that don't belong to the actual filter.
Don't belong to the actual filter because it can
push
it. You can push it more. Normally, you can reach several regions of the filter using modulation. In this case, you can enhance them. You can.
You can also push a 12 dB per octaves slope into more like 24, like kind of.
This is the secret of this synthesizer. There are real filters. I mean, real emulated filters, and this is very important. And the other stuff is coming on this synthesizer. So basically, what we are doing here, we are trying to create something which is more like a monster. You can sample, you can use a sampled oscillator, you can use a sampled AG like envelopes and things like that. You have sampled filters, and in this case and also for the LFOs in the future, maybe it will be sampled. So basically, we are moving for a completed sampled device where you can sample things. And
so you sample the sounds and you sample the behavior.
You can sample the behavior and you can just connect stuff. So this is the point. Okay, thank you also for the positive comments. I repeat, we don't want to convince everybody to buy this synthesizer.
I want to actually, but
we want to. We are pretty proud in any case, because I think it's the second synthesizer we created, and I love what it's doing. I mean, there are so many synthesizers around, and there are companies doing a proper synthesizer after many years, and I love what we are doing and the quality we reached. And I know maybe it's because we see our synthesizer like our child, our children, of course. But really, we are really proud that it was possible for ourselves to reach this point. At the point we prefer our synthesizer to other ones for our productions. And I'm not lying.
No.
Really, Carl and me we are buying Mac basically portable Macs to have a portable synthesizer, just to move this synthesizer in the box with our when we move from a town to the other ones and get our synth ready. I'm also starting doing music stuff again. So I have a sort of home studio in a sort of garage. I don't know, the English name is garage.
Yeah, it's garage.
It's in a garage with a friend. So we're starting again. We bought stuff for doing music speakers, production. We have this Mac, and the reason why we are starting doing music again is because there is this TH8, so we decided to change our mind, and after the TH8 I decided to create even a better synthesizer for my scope, so I can have a sort of a desert island synthesizer for myself, so I can do all the stuff. This synthesizer is good for creating, for example, sounds like I don't know, a weekend. At the same time, trance, or maybe even bro step, even this stuff.
Berlin techno,
And I love this
house,
sort of
trance,
electronic
you decide.
music, and so I created this stuff for myself. But you can play all the genre you want, even jazz, because sounds is pretty good. Free demo, not a free demo, but there will be a free demo launch before a couple of months. There is not Stefano Florio, okay, there was a rise end. You want to move to live, Stefano? Just because people are rising hand, like they want to participate to this to this live. If you want, we can just confirm me that you want to speak with us if you want, because the people are rising hands. This is a feature in this application for participating to the live. I don't know if it was a mistake or it wants other people raised the hands before. It means that they want to participate to the conversation, not just from the chat.
J.
Okay, other user raise. Okay, views. Okay. I suppose that you want to participate. Okay, participate. Bring it to stage. Okay, let's see if you want. Stop screen share. Okay. I don't know if is. I don't know if this stuff is working. Okay, this.
Everybody's raising hands.
I don't know if they are raising a hand and want to beta test. Okay. I don't know if this room can accept. I think it can accept other people speaking, but I don't know, because a particular room, as you can see, you cannot speak. Normally, the room in Siena Sphere you can speak. In this case, I don't know if because there was a rising hand, but I don't know. I don't know if we can do this stuff. Okay, there
Help is coming.
We can have this. Okay, we have the creator of the stuff, which is Christopher. Christopher, this is a live show, and there's someone raised the hand, but I don't know if
you make him talk. Have I got a username?
This one is this one, the broadcaster. This
okay.
one.
Okay.
I don't know if he wants to participate or if it's a mistake. I think okay. This one.
Let me see. Okay. J4. Hold on. We go here.
Okay. Okay. Now I know how to invite people.
Do this.
Okay.
It's this one.
Okay. Bring it to stage. Okay. If you want, you can.
There you go. He should accept it. And
you should accept it if you want.
Yeah, if he wants to go on stage, he accepts it, and then he's invited.
So people raising hands are there. I can. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. We can invite you if you want. I don't know if it's a mistake. Okay, but you have to accept in this application. There is a recording of this. I think is useful because we start of showing presets. The first preset we created, where we were creating this synthesizer, we created also first presets. So
on the go, on the fly, while we were working on the sounds, Giancarlo coding and preset making.
Yeah. I don't know if accepted. No, I don't know. Okay. But okay. Sorry, Ed, to rejoin. Okay. Sorry. We can. Okay. Rise and again. I can invite you. I can invite you if you. I'm speaking with Jay. With Jay, if he wanted to participate. Okay, this is the broadcaster. The broadcaster is see if you want to rise and again. Yeah, but I cannot see. Search for J. Fetch J. Jay. Okay, this one. Okay, bring to stage. Okay, let's see if he can speak. Okay, hello.
Hello.
Hey,
I love this application. It's just okay. It's the first time I use it properly. It's strange because I'm the CEO of the company. I don't know even what they are coding because I'm involved in synthesizer stuff, so I don't know. But it's a cool this application for sharing. Okay. I cannot hear it anymore. Your microphone,
how about now? Can
Jay.
you hear me
Okay,
now?
okay, okay, okay,
Now we
okay.
can hear you.
I can. Okay.
I really have nothing to say, Giancarlo, except I didn't know what to expect. I'm not really a synth player. And I thought, oh, okay, I'll check it out. I may demo it in a few months. I probably won't buy it, but I just wanted to tell you both. I think it sounds. My wife isn't here, so I can swear now. It really freaking blew my mind. It
Thanks
sounds
a lot,
alive.
man. It means a lot. Thanks.
It
Now
sounds
We agree
so
with you.
we
it
agree.
sounds so thick. And what blew my mind was I heard Moog, I heard Buchla, I heard so many different sounds. And
Yeah.
and honestly, all I am is a bass player. I only really piddle with synths, but now I'm getting more into ambient, and I love pre-programming patches like long signs and doing all kind of complex modulations. Since my hands, I don't have the dexterity to play, but for ambient and IDM, man, this is exciting. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say bravo. It was awesome.
Thanks a
I'm
lot.
really glad. Really
Thank you.
glad
We are surprised because when we started the project, we didn't think it was good enough. I mean, the initial project, I contacted Carl and said, okay, we need to create this small synthesizer based on maybe samples or something like that, and it could be a product we can release this year. And it was an idea just to move because for us was moving from a synthesizer to the other one. So we build stuff, we build building blocks, so we can improve our tech, our approach to synthesizer. So it was not expected. When we started working on this project, it says, okay, this synthesizer is incredible good. And when I speak with Carl, we are using WhatsApp. Each day we say, "Oh, listen this patch, listen
It
this
was
phrase,
getting
listen."
better by the day.
And we are surprised, and we are in a position. I'm honest, where we
Yeah,
are
me too.
trying to check all YouTube's videos from other synthesizers in order
Yeah.
to check if we are mad, if
Yeah.
our expectation are maybe different, or maybe there are already synthesizer doing it. And when we check YouTube channels, even presenting new synthesizer, we said, okay, but this synth is like a fake synth. And
Right.
in this case, we are trying to compare back and forth, and it says, "Wow, this synth is different." So, is the reason why we are so excited. Now, we are creating stuff, and sometimes it seems like we are trying to sell something. But we want to sell other stuff. I mean, you have so many plugins to sell that it doesn't matter if we have this selling a lot or not. It doesn't change our position.
Also, just one more comment. I own Omnisphere. I own Falcons.
Yeah, this is exactly.
Falcon.
We said there is already
This is the
Omnisphere. Maybe
opposite.
It's the
I don't
opposite. Okay.
I
I'm
don't
very
have to
glad
dive.
to say this.
I don't have to dive into a page. I don't have to go into a matrix.
Ah.
It's
Yes,
just
yes.
like I have a real synth.
Simple.
What
That's
you
awesome.
see is what you get.
This is simple.
Right.
What is actually simple, and the reason why I'm, in my opinion, is so much good for our opinion. Just this is our opinion. For our opinion, is very good. Okay.
Yep.
But the reason, in my opinion, why it is so much good that we created this time a product for ourselves. Should be honest. I created the Nebula stuff in 2007 for myself. This was the first project we created for myself. Then I stopped for a lot of years, and we were a sort of a rising company, but basically not selling very much. Then we had this company created in 2014 with the proper employees and things like that. And basically, I created stuff because there was a market, a reason for releasing products, but I was not doing stuff for myself. Should be honest.
Right.
So in 2017, I started again doing music for a very, very limited period of time. And I'm glad that I did it because the product we created later were created because I was applying them because I was using them. You know, you have to use your stuff in order to understand if it's good or not. And we had this sort of big improvement because I started using our stuff again. And but I was forced to stop because you know when you have a company, you have so many employees, you have many things, so many problems. Because when you have a company, there are a lot of problems. You have you need money, you have problem with employees. Someone is quitting, someone is news problem, COVID. Oh, you have a lot of issues. You don't have time for doing music, and this is a pity because is my life was about doing music. So I have this mate. I told him a lot of time we need to go back doing music again. So I use my stuff. I understand what is working and what not. I mean, I'm using my stuff for doing a small tests. For example, okay, I'm mastering tracks in order to check, for example, if this equalizer is working very well or not. But you know, I'm not using for really. And now I'm going back to doing music. And the first time I decided to create is Rice because I need a reverb, a lightweight reverb for myself. This is incredible.
Easy to tweak, fast to achieve
Then
the
I said,
results.
okay, I need also a proper converter, so Daisy. And I need a proper synthesizer, even a better in some way of TH8, and there is this Alice. I'm doing for myself, and I sort of forcing other people to follow my dreams. But I'm lucky because Carl
No,
shares,
we share it. We share the same view.
and also we have a lot of people working with us. But I'm keeping a very small, only Carl for this synthesizer because I wanted to do exactly what we had in our mind without contaminations. And we wanted something which sounds good. The point for me is not to make an emulation of Buchla or a Moog. I want something that I can use. This is the problem. And so we decided to create it together when we started experimenting with this very, very incredible engine because there was also a genius helping us for creating this engine. It is a collaboration between our company and other external consultant. We are true genius. So merging our efforts, we created this engine, and using this engine, we decided.
I still remember last summer we saw each other at Seaside.
Yeah.
And he let me hear on the phone what happens with this new audio engine pitching up, let's say, 2 octaves. And I heard it on the phone, and I said,
there are 5 octaves.
I don't remember. I mean,
Yes,
a lot of octaves, something
with no aliasing. So there is
no aliasing. And I heard it, and I
particular-
said, I was like, impressed. And I said, so you can build a sampler, a real sampler.
we can build something like a content. But this is okay. But it's early for creating something like content because you have to create all the stuff, you have the key map, you have the layers. So this is you cannot.
It's a very complex machine.
Yeah, you cannot create an Helion or a contact in a few days. So basically, we started creating a sort of initial project, but he said, okay, we can create this, but okay, maybe it will be a product. Okay, but when we had the first sounds from it, he says, oh no, I needed this. Okay, Carlo, we have to do it properly because I needed this synthesizer. So I'll be in the project. I want to create it for myself. So I changed completely my mind. I forced him to sample all the stuff I had in my mind. You have to take this Korg, this stuff from other brands because I wanted. For example, I cannot name brand names, but basically all the brands they say. So I need this from them. This from them. Do you remember this one? It was a special bus from this rack. Do you have it? No, a friend. Okay. So go there, sample all the thing I need. I want a real roads. I want. This is the point. This is the point. So I'm happy.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
really.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. I think other people want to join. Thank you, Jay. Okay. Mariano, bring to stage. Mariano, yes. Mariano is our community manager. Okay, Mariano. Now we are testing this bring to stage. Okay, Mariano, you have to accept. Okay. This one. Okay, we have to remove to the switch. I think this one, no? Remove participant. This one. I think I don't know if. Okay, we are back. Okay, Mariano, bring to stage. See. You have to accept, basically. See if there are other questions. Okay. Okay, let's see if you have Mariano coming. Other people were asking to, I don't know. And the raised a frame also, this one. Okay, bring to stage. Okay, let's see if they accept. I think this one.
Want me to call Chris?
No, but I think there is a fine.
It's up to them to accept, right?
Because they have to accept. Yeah. Time frame. Okay. This is see if there is broadcasted. Okay, and there is bring to stage.
Okay, we're doing good. Chris says we're doing good. You're doing good.
Okay. I'm checking for Efrain. Okay. I don't know if they have to accept. Basically, this is reconnecting. Let's hope if I can connect again and we can have bring to stage. Okay, you have to accept. I think. Yeah, I know. I told him you have when you want to participate. We
You
try
have
to join. Exactly, they have to accept. Otherwise, we cannot. Basically, we invite you, and you have to accept the invitation. Otherwise, you cannot participate. Okay. Yes. Yeah, accepted, but it went a little slow. I had to restart. Mariano. Okay, Mariano, I try to bring you again. Okay, the first one. Mariano. There was another one. Mariano. Mariano. This one. Let's see, because Mariano now is not in the list. Okay, broadcast. Okay, we are here. Okay, checking directly. Okay, raise the hand. Okay, this one we raise the hand and another one. Let's see if we try to have another one. Okay. Hello. Okay. Can you hear me? Can you?
Nice Telecaster, eh? And the hummingbird too. Looks like.
I cannot hear you in any case.
I can't hear you.
You have to enable the microphone. I think possibly. Oh wow, I cannot hear. I cannot hear. You can hear me, I guess. Okay.
For some reason, we can't hear you.
Let's check if I have a switch mute audio. No, it should be volume. I can. Okay.
Anyway, you have a Martin, Hummingbird, Telecaster.
Yeah, you have a lot of guitars.
Bass guitars, all sorts of stuff.
Very good stuff. Yeah. Okay. Where did you turn on the audio? Okay. Christopher is listening to us. Is listening. Christopher listening. He doesn't know how to turn on audio. I think your camera maybe, or because there is a microphone in the lower region, and I think you have
on the left corner.
On the left corner there is a microphone. And,
maybe you have to
and
switch
you can
on.
decide which one also is the transmitting one. So you can decide in the corner, in the left
left lower corner.
Left lower corner, there is a microphone, 3 dots on it, and there is the microphone symbol, and you can enable a different microphone, or you can even the computer one.
You can choose the source that you
can
want to
choose,
broadcast.
Yeah, the broadcast. Yeah. Okay. 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 You find it? Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very, very.
You're very low, huh?
No.
You went away.
Wait, but I don't know. Maybe because there is an auto mute, something like, because there is an auto mute feature. I don't know if it's interfering with the transmission of the microphone. Before a while, I had, I think.
Yeah, we heard you for a second.
Yes. Yeah. But this one. This one. Even in my headphone machine, I don't know. No. I cannot.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
We can hear. Okay.
What you gonna
Sorry.
do?
Next time. Okay. So basically, okay. In this case, this is how to stop this. This mute audio, mute video, mute switch roll. I don't know what is. I don't know how to. Okay. I don't know how to stop, or maybe he has problem with the sound. How to stop this?
Yeah, well, it's just a little microphone over there. You have like 3 dots, and you select your microphone from there. Have you tried? You can give it a shot, perhaps. Can you see a microphone? Or maybe you can try like, yeah. Oh, but it's not working, right? Oh, shoot.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
To close the conversation?
Yeah, you just go over here. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Wait, this one. You go over here and wait. Nope. It's right there. Okay. Over here. This one.
Okay.
Doof.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Now I understand. Okay. There was Mariano also, which now is a bit later. Let's see if there is Mariano now connected. Mariano not.
What do you guys think about the T-shirt?
Yeah. When will be released? Before a couple of months. Before a couple of months. I think more than 1 month, less than a couple of months. So basically, okay. So basically, I think we had. I don't know if there are other questions. Otherwise, yes, it was. It's incredible because we connected a secondary keyboard for Carl, and while we were playing,
it got unhooked, so it's not working
Yeah,
anymore.
it was disabled for a while and stopped working. This is a secondary one. Okay, so I think it was.
We showed everything we talked about. I mean, the main features, and but yeah, at the end, let's be honest. You have to install it. You have to try it because I understand that it could look like we're bragging, we're saying we do, but the truth is
to play it.
You have to trust us. You play it, and you should hopefully you should have it gives you the impression of being alive and being hardware and being analog like.
Okay, so have a nice evening and
See you guys. Talk to you soon. And ciao. Ciao a tutti. Ciao.